Hello and welcome to my class today. This is going to be a short class working specifically on golf exercises for rotation and hip openers. We're going to get started just to make sure that if you find any of these exercises too strenuous, just go at your own pace and level down on them if necessary. We're going to start with our feet together and we're going to turn them out to the side. And then turn our heels out so our feet are hip width apart. We're going to lengthen up our neck, bring our shoulders down, bring the scapula down your back, and we're just going to have a few rocks backwards and forwards on our feet from our heel to our toes, our big toe and our little toe. So we've got that balance between the triangle of our feet. Take some deep breaths in and out, and just feel like we're just releasing all that tension down from the top of our head right down into our feet. We're going to go into our hips and we're just going to have a few pelvic tilts forward and backwards. I turn to the side so you can see backwards, backwards and forwards, imagining you've got a bucket and you're tilting the water backwards and forwards out until you get to that neutral position. So we're in that neutral position, so we're going to bring our arms up with an inhale and then exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. And then down. And then we're just going to bring our arms out to the side and we're going to bring them in and then out. We're just working on the mobility through our shoulder blades and through our arms as well, keeping those shoulder blades down. So inhale and then exhale out. Inhale, exhale. And then two more. And then one more. And then our arms down. We're going to just turn our toes out to the side. We're going to go into a mini squat. We're going to go down and then up. Just tracing those knees over the middle toe, and just making sure that as we go down, our tailbone is going straight down and we're tucking that tummy in, keeping those shoulder blades down. We go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now we're going to go into our foot series where we're going to raise up into our toes and then lower and then down. We raise up onto our toes, we lower the heels and then raise back up again. Just working on the mobility in our ankles. We raise up, squat, lower the heels and down. So as we're doing this, we're just making sure we raise up as if we have 2 panes of glass between us. So we're raising up, keep as stable as possible, lower those heels and then come back again. Lower those heels. And now we're going to do the reverse. So we're going to do our mini squat, raise the heels, lengthen up and then down. And use the arms for some balance as well. Down. So we inhale down, exhale up and then inhale down. And then up and then down. And we'll just do one more. Raise the heels, lengthen up and then down. And we should have some mobility in our ankles. We're going to take it into a slightly wider stance opening up our toes. We're going to go into a full plie now. Keeping that tailbone pointing down to the mat as you go down. Tuck that tummy in. You want to reach your knees to the corner of the room, tracking them over your middle toe, and tucking that tummy in, lengthening up that neck, keeping those shoulders down. We're going to hold onto that squat, then we're going to bring the arms in and then out, in. And as you take it out, squeeze those shoulder blades together. So with this exercise, we're working on our hip openers, which we have in our golf swing. We open up our hips in our swing. We want to keep that mobility in those hips. So inhale, out, and then up, and just rest a little bit because that's quite tight, but you're quite hard on those legs. We do it again. So we go down, we open up, back in, out, and in. Really feeling like you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. And you should feel it in your thighs. Tighten those tummy muscles. So you're taking the strain off the legs and tighten those buttocks as well. Exhale out, inhale in, and then we can relax. Take a bit of a shoulder rolls. To feel that in your shoulders now and in your arms. We're going to go into a spine twist. We get into our squat position again. We're just going to have our hands in a prayer position in front of us. And from this position, we're going to inhale to prepare and then exhale as we twist. We follow our nose and our fingertips are together. We're following our eye line. And then inhale back, exhale to the side, inhale back. Now this is so great for your golf swing because you've got the strength in your thighs, but you've also got the rotation of your back and your upper back for your backswing, and then you'll follow through. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bring it back to the front and relax. Oh, feel it in those thighs. We're going to go onto the mat. We're going to do our roll down to start with. So we're going to get some flexibility into our spine. We have our knees, they're not straight, but there's slight bend in them. So we inhale and then exhale as we tuck that chin into the chest, tuck the tailbone under and start rolling that spine down to the mat. Making sure that you're not pushing your bottom back. Imagine you're on a wall. Then when we're down here, we're just going to move over to one side and then get the hands and just walk them over to the other side. So we're getting a real rotation and a stretch in our back. Taking your in-breath and your exhale. And then we're just going to roll ourselves back up again. And we'll go one more time. Tuck that chin into the chest, tuck the tailbone under, tuck the tummy in, and just roll one vertebrae at a time all the way down. Inhale at the bottom and then exhale as we roll one vertebrae at a time back up, as if you're putting one vertebrae onto your wall, one at a time. And then one more, inhale, and then exhale, blow that breath out, rolling down. And then we bend our knees. And then we go onto our backs, into our hip twist. We get onto our mat. You can have a head cushion if you want. Just supports the neck. So in this position, we're going to get into our neutral position. Make sure your shoulders are melting into the mat. You see my shoulders were up and now I just melt them down into the mat. Relax my ribs into the mat as well so it's all soft. And then my hip bones pointing to the ceiling. I'm going to do a few pelvic tilts, back, forwards and backwards, so that we can get into our neutral position. And we're going to start with we'll get into our neutral. So we just got to feel like we can put a little chocolate under our back. We've got a little bit of a curve. So from here, our knees are pointing up to the ceiling, and we're just going to raise one knee up into tabletop. And from here, we're just going to float the knee out to the side and then bring it back in again. Now you want to make sure that our hip bones are pointing to the ceiling and they're not swaying from side to side. So we exhale on the way out, inhale on the way back, exhale out, and inhale back in. Tighten those tummy muscles as you float the leg out and then bring it back. You want to make sure that your foot and your knee is staying in line. So you're not turning it like this. You literally want it just knee and foot to follow each other. And you should feel that those hips are just starting to open up. And then we do the other side. So you can do it 8 times on each side. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then relax and bring the knees into the chest and just rock backwards and forwards or side to side, just releasing the back muscles. And we're going to move into our hip twist level 5. So this is where we get real rotation in our spine. We put our arms out to the side and our feet are together. Get into our neutral position. We're going to tighten our tummy muscles, really deepen those tummy muscles, and we're going to float the knees to the side and we're going to take the head the opposite way. And then we inhale to bring it back, and then we exhale to take it to the other side. You should feel a lovely stretch in your back, in your thoracic spine, and then you should also feel it in your lumbar spine and your lower back as well. If you can, keep those shoulders on the mat as you twist, and then exhale back. Sorry, inhale back, and then exhale and float the legs down to the side. Use those tummy muscles to bring those knees back up to the ceiling. And if you want to just add a challenge to this, you can point your leg out, the top leg, and then draw it back again and then bring it down. You turn to the other side, point the leg out, and then use those tummy muscles to draw that leg up back to the ceiling. And we just do one more on each side. And then bring it back. And then one more. And then bring it back again. Now from this position, we are going to do our shoulder bridge. We're just going to get rid of our cushion. So with our shoulder bridge, we just want to lengthen that neck and we don't want the cushion to restrict our neck. So get into our neutral position. You might want to have your feet a little bit closer to your bottom because you can get a cramp. We're going to inhale and exhale. We're going to tuck that tailbone forwards and we're going to roll each vertebrae at a time off the mat and up into our shoulder bridge. Inhale at the top and then exhale. And imagine you've got a string of pearls and you're just loading one pearl at a time back onto the mat. And then we just do that again. So tuck the tailbone under and then clench the buttocks, tighten up the abs, and then exhale and just lower one vertebrae at a time back onto the mat. Now at this point we can have a challenge. We can do some hip openers. So if we go up into our shoulder bridge and then we just open one leg out to the side and then back again and then float the other leg to the side and then back again. And we'll do 3 on each side. So that's 2 and then 1. Really tighten up those abdominals and clench the buttocks and then just one vertebrae at a time back onto the mat. So we can repeat that, or we can go into the next stage where we go up into our shoulder bridge. Now at this point you want your hip bones pointing at the ceiling. You do not want them to move, and we're just going to inhale, tighten those abdominals, and we're just going to lift one leg up into tabletop and then lower it down, and then lift the other leg up into tabletop and lower it down. You're going to get a real workout in those glutes. So we inhale and exhale to lift up, inhale to lower, exhale to lift up, inhale to lower. And one more on each side. And then lower down, one vertebrae at a time. There, we've had a good workout of our bum, our abdominals, and we've had the mobility in our back as well. So just bring your knees towards your chest and rock from side to side. We're just going to have a little stretch of our buttocks. So if you bring your ankle over your knee and then just grab behind your thigh and pull towards you. So you inhale and then exhale and just gently bring your knee, your thigh towards your chest. Inhale, then exhale. You could feel that stretch in that bottom and in that thigh as well. And then lower it back down, and then we can try the other side. Now if that's too hard, you could just keep the knee in this position and you could just push on your knee here. And I pull it towards me. Inhale and then exhale. We're going to stick with the rotation of our hips, and we're going to do one leg circles. So we inhale and we just float our leg up into tabletop, and then we point our toe to the sky or the ceiling, depending where you're doing your Pilates. Keep that tailbone on the mat in that neutral position where you've got your chocolate behind your back, and we're just going to circle our hip round. Imagine you've got a pencil on your toe and you're pointing it towards the sky or the ceiling, and you're drawing circles on the ceiling. We do an inhale as we circle, full circle, and exhale on the next circle. You want to keep the knee that is pointing to the ceiling, you want to keep that as still as possible. Imagine that you've got a champagne glass on it and you don't want it to drop. And then we're going to reverse. We tend to do 6 to 8 circles on each side. 5, 6, 7. Then we lower, and then we'll raise the other leg up into tabletop, point towards the ceiling, and start doing our circle. 8, 7, 6. At this point, just keep your ribs and your shoulders down on the mat, keeping those hip bones pointing to the ceiling. 2, and then 1, and then reverse. If you want to add a little stretch into this, you can actually point the bottom leg down, and then you've got a little bit of a hip flexor stretch here. If you're not comfortable with that, well then just keep your knee up, pointing towards the sky or the ceiling. And then we fold it in, fold the other leg in, and then lower it down. Now we're going to go over onto our onto all fours, and we're going to finish off with thread the needle. We're just going to have our hips and our knees over each other. So we want our hip and our knee over each other. We want our shoulder and our hands in line. Pull that tummy in, and we're going to do arm openings, which is thread the needle. So we're going to open up our arm to the side, and then we're going to take our hand and we're going to stroke it underneath us. We're going to just stretch that shoulder, pointing that shoulder to the mat, sticking that bum up to the ceiling, and then bring it back, and then exhale and do another one. Exhale. And we just do 3 on each side. And this is the rotation that you get in your golf swing. You just open up and then thread that needle through. Inhale, exhale through. Just feel that wonderful stretch. And let's just do one more for luck. And there we have it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was just the first sort of taster into some golf exercises for your rotation, for some flexibility, and to open up your hips to help you with your golf swing. Thank you very much.